Have you ever wondered communicating with a bot who can have similar tone and expressive capabilities like human? The Socket AI Labs real-time speech API has made it possible for us. Hi everyone, I'm Ritvika and I am here to demonstrate how to integrate the Telegram bot with the Socket AI real-time speech API. So let's dive into the video.
हेलो विद्या, मुझे पढ़ाई में बहुत प्रॉब्लम्स आ रही है। क्या तुम मुझे हेल्प कर सकते हो?
हेलो, मैं हूँ विद्या। आपकी पढ़ाई वाली दोस्त। पढ़ाई में प्रॉब्लम से जूझना कोई मजेदार बात नहीं है, लेकिन चिंता मत करो, हम मिलकर इसे आसान बना देंगे। क्या आपको किसी खास टॉपिक पर मदद चाहिए, जैसे प्रोग्रामिंग, एआई या कुछ और? बिना झिझक के बताएं। चलो इस मुश्किल को मिलकर आसान करें।
हाँ, मुझे प्रोग्रामिंग बेसिक्स के बारे में थोड़ा और जानना है, उसके बारे में विस्तार से बताना।
बिल्कुल, प्रोग्रामिंग बेसिक्स का मतलब है कि आप कंप्यूटर को क्या और कैसे करना सिखाते हैं। इसमें सबसे पहले आपको प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेज सीखनी होगी, जैसे पाइथन, सी प्लस प्लस या जावा। ये लैंग्वेज आपको कोड लिखने और प्रोग्राम बनाने में मदद करती है। आपको सिंटैक्स, कोड लिखने का तरीका, डिबगिंग, गलतियों को सुधारना और एल्गोरिदम, समस्या सुलझाने के तरीके के बारे में भी जानना होगा। इससे आप साधारण कैलकुलेटर से लेकर जटिल गेम्स और सॉफ्टवेयर तक सब कुछ बना सकते हैं। तो क्या आपको किसी खास लैंग्वेज या टॉपिक पर और जानकारी चाहिए?
विद्या, कैन यू हेल्प मी कि मैं प्रोग्रामिंग कहाँ से सीखूं और कैसे सीखूं?
ओह, ये तो शानदार सवाल है। प्रोग्रामिंग सीखने के कई मजेदार तरीके हैं। आप ऑनलाइन प्लेटफॉर्मों पर जाकर शुरू कर सकते हैं, जैसे कोड अकेडमी, कोर्सेरा या फ्री कोड कैम्प। यहाँ पे आपको इंटरैक्टिव कोर्स मिलेंगे जो आपको कोड लिखने और प्रोजेक्ट्स बनाने में मदद करेंगे। इसके अलावा यूट्यूब पर भी ढेर सारे ट्यूटोरियल्स हैं जो आपको वीडियो के माध्यम से सिखाते हैं। और अगर आपको किताबें पसंद हैं तो ऑटोमेट द बोरिंग स्टफ विद पाइथन एक बेहतरीन शुरुआत हो सकती है। तो क्या आप किसी खास प्लेटफॉर्म या लैंग्वेज के बारे में और जानना चाहें?
नहीं विद्या, थैंक यू सो मच, तुम्हारी हेल्प से बहुत मदद हो गई मुझे।
अरे वाह, धन्यवाद। मुझे खुशी है कि मैं आपकी मदद कर सकी। अगर आपके मन में और सवाल हों या किसी भी विषय पर चर्चा करनी हो तो बेझिझक पूछें।
So I'm here to explain the integration of Telegram app along with the Socket API real-time speech-to-speech bot. So for Telegram, so we have to first set up the Telegram app in our mobile phones, and we can do that using the bot father. And once we set up that, we get these two variables. One is the bot token and the base URL. So the bot token is passed directly into the base URL of Telegram. And also we have to set up certain other global variables. One is this port number, which will help us connect to a Flask app for the Telegram, and another is this real-time client, which will help us connect to the Socket real-time client API. So coming to the main function here, so in this main function, this app will, the Flask app for the Telegram will run asynchronously in a particular thread, and we pass the webhook port here so that it runs in a thread, and all the functions which is running within this app will be an asynchronous function. Now coming to the webhook function, this is an asynchronous function as you can see, and I have a global data dictionary. This global data dictionary will help me store a particular global variables which is required throughout the program. Now this data is a JSON object which will help the user to send a message, and the user will send the audio message which will be stored in this JSON object. So here I am checking if a message is present in this particular data, then I'm storing the chat ID from this particular data JSON object, and then this particular chat ID is required throughout the program. So I'm storing it into the global data dictionary, and also I'm checking if the voice is present in the data message. Then I'm taking the file, extracting the file ID of the particular voice and also the voice. And then finally I'm sending it to the download audio, where the user's audio will be downloaded in this particular function. Now starting in with the download function, which is also an asynchronous function because it's runs in the same thread. So here I start obtaining the information required for downloading the particular audio. So here is the URL, parameters, and these information is obtained in file info, and from file info I'm also obtaining the file path, and this file path will be passed to the file URL to get the audio, and the audio is obtained in this variable response. Now this response is also a JSON object, and it consists of response.content, which will contain the audio, and using audio segment library I am extracting this particular audio and setting up all of its properties. Some of its properties are the frame rate, which is 8000, the sample width, which is 2, and the channels, which is 1, and also we have to pass it to the real-time socket API, the input audio. So therefore we require a format which is signed 16LE, and after converting this particular audio, the socket real-time API also takes the input audio in the form of small chunks. So here I am dividing this audio with chunk size 160 and appending each particular chunk into the input audio. So this input audio function will help us to send the input audio in small chunks, and also I'm waiting for a certain time after appending each audio so that the complete audio is appended, and then finally this create response will create the response of the input audio, and this will be obtained again using the client. The client is a connection between the socket real-time API, and it defines all the connection parameters. Now starting on with another thread. So as we know that the app is already running, the Telegram app is already running in one particular thread, so we have to use another thread which asynchronously run along with this. So I start asynchronous loop here, and in this loop I call the function real-time handler, which will set up all the connections, and this function runs until the entire loop is completed. And daemon helps in running two asynchronous threads simultaneously, and we start the thread here. Now in the real-time handler function, which is also an async function, we start up with calling the class, which is making the object of the class, which is the conversation handler, and client defines the entire connection with all the connection parameters with real-time socket API, and this client will help in triggering these following events. One is the conversational update, conversation item completed, error, and conversation interrupted. So update is called whenever the user sends an audio and whenever the audio is generated. So both happens in chunks, and whenever this chunk of audio is generated or user sends one, this update function is triggered. And then the completed is triggered whenever the entire conversation is completed, and error is triggered whenever the error occurs, and interrupted is triggered whenever the user interrupts within the conversation. Now we set the connection after a certain wait time, and then we also update the session with this instruction. So instruction is very important to pass directly into the user, like directly into the bot, because through this instruction the bot will understand how to communicate and converse with the user. The instructions are really important to be given to the bot, because that way bot will know what is the purpose of the particular bot. So here I am giving identity to the bot named Vidya, and also I am giving certain instruction how it will communicate with the bot, and here these are the topics that the educational bot would refer to for answering the questions that is given by the user, which is computer science, we have artificial intelligence, data science, physics, chemistry. I'm also giving certain instructions to the bot how it would respond. That is, do not respond in points, respond only in 5 to 6 lines, and also I'm giving the language to be responded in. If the user speaks and comfortable in English, then the bot will respond in English or in Hindi. And the bot can also respond in mixed languages that we talk in day-to-day basis. I'm also giving the tone and the length of the response. So the bot might not be too professional, because I want the bot to be a little interactive, because it's meant for kids. So might not be too professional, but it should be polite, funny, excited, and very expressive like a human. And here I'm giving certain examples of responses that the bot should understand. That is, hello, मैं विद्या हूँ, आपकी पढ़ाई वाली दोस्त. These kind of responses the bot should give. And also I'm giving some interaction guidelines. Some of is how to greet politely. So we start with greeting the user politely, which here also I'm giving some examples of greeting. And also, if the question is not understood by the bot, then the bot can ask the user to clarify the question. क्या आप मुझे प्रश्न थोड़ी स्पष्ट भाषा में बोल सकते हो, like that. And then also I'm giving a structure or flow of the conversation. So first the bot would start with introduction of the bot itself, that I am Vidya, a friendly educational assistant. And then it would continue with the conversational flow. Whatever question is asked by the user, the bot would respond to those particular questions. And also at the end, if the user asks some non-educational queries, then the bot can say that I am not proficient in this kind of query, कि मैं इस query का उत्तर नहीं दे सकता. And also at the end of the conversation, the bot should thank the user, saying that thanks, I hope all your queries are clear. बात करने के लिए धन्यवाद, आशा करते हैं कि हम आगे भी आपकी मदद कर सकते हैं. So these kind of responses the bot should generate, so that the interaction is very fluent. And also this instruction that has been given to the bot will not only follow these instructions, but also generate some new tokens which is not given in the instructions. So if I have given certain educational content such as, or topics such as computer science, data science, the bot will not only be strictly following those topics, but also generate its own responses which is within the topic. For example, if I ask like which are the sources that I can learn this topic from, then the bot will give the sources as well. So although the sources have not been mentioned in this particular instruction, so that would make the bot more interesting and more interactive with the user. Now in this class, conversational handler class, here these are the following functions that will be triggered. So as I said, the first function that will be triggered is the conversation update function. So this function will contain a delta. Basically it will contain the event. The event is a JSON object, and this event will contain the information about the audio that has been passed by the user. So the event, as soon as the user gives the particular audio, the event will contain delta, and this delta will have audio. And if I check that the delta contains audio or not, if the delta contains audio, then I'm storing this audio, and also I'm appending it into a buffer, because as I said, the audio comes as an input in the form of chunk. So this update function will be triggered whenever an input is passed by the user, as well as whenever any like audio is generated. So all those information will be getting stored, or the input as well as the audio that has been generated, it gets stored into the buffer in small chunks, and this buffer will contain the entire audio after appending those chunks. So once the audio has been completely, the generated audio specifically, once it has been completely stored in the buffer, this function is called, and in this function I'm checking whether the response audio is done or not. In the event, I'm checking whether the response audio is done. That means the generation of the audio is completed. So if that happens, then I'm having a temporary bytes IO variable, and also I'm obtaining the audio buffer and passing this audio buffer in the audio and obtaining the entire audio, raw audio, using the audio segment library. And then finally I'm converting this raw audio format into WAV, because I have to send this audio, generated audio, back to the Telegram bot, and the Telegram bot only takes WAV format. So also, as I said, to send to the Telegram bot, I require this chat ID, and the chat ID is stored in the global data dictionary. Now using this chat ID and the base URL, I sent the request back to the Telegram bot. The request consists of the audio. that was stored in the temporary variable. So if the audio is successfully sent, then I have this logger here which will say whether it's sent or whether it has been failed. So this is how the entire flow of the program works, and this is how we communicate directly with the Telegram. Hope you guys like the demonstration, and do check out the Socket AI real-time API, and hope you can use that in various use cases and integrate them. It would be interesting, and thank you so much for patiently listening throughout this demonstration.